figure on it. I wouldn't want to bet on the job tenure of the DIA analysts who had the courage, maybe just impulse to make this initial assessment that the damage from the attack was considerably less than was thought. This administration has shown that it is prepared to go into the intelligence agencies and alter the intelligence, or in some cases remove the people. They've done both if they don't like the conclusions, if the conclusions don't support their policies. For example, there was an intelligence assessment that said that one of the cornerstones of the president's immigration policy, the idea that Tren Via Ragua, the gang that's active in the United States, was being directed by the Venezuelan government. And the analysts looked at that and said, no, that's not what the evidence says. They're a bad gang, and the government has an interest in them making mischief, but they're not directing anything. And so the leadership and the Directorate of National Intelligence wanted a new product that argued differently, and then ended up replacing the top people who've been responsible for that product. That's when you get real trouble, when people get so upset at the truth that intelligence analysts, inconvenient, unpleasant truth that they're putting out, that they want to dump the analysts. And then you really begin to go down towards cooking the books and utterly unreliable information that feeds bad policy.
But Jim Vandehei, we also need to take a deep breath here ourselves. And I completely agree with what David said and what everybody else has said. This is my Harold Ford at his best. I agree with everybody here on the screen. That said, Jim, we also have to be cautious about being played by people inside the intel community who want to get their message out. I'm not saying that's happening here, but I remember in the last Trump term, the New York Times runs a story on the front page. Somebody from the intel community said Vladimir Putin was paying for hits against U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Everybody ran with it. About 6 months later, and said, well, actually, they just had a low degree of confidence in that. That happened. That's happened an awful lot. Happened a lot in Iraq. It happened a lot in Afghanistan. So again, that's why waiting to see what happens actually, and not drawing too many conclusions makes sense. And that, of course, not only is the best practice for the White House and for the president, that's the best practice for the media as well, just because they got a couple of leaks from the DIA.